This year's college football coaching carousel is unlike any we have seen before, and that was before Brian Kelly decided to leave Notre Dame for LSU. Brian Kelly had Notre Dame sitting on the doorstep of the college football playoffs during a rebuilding year, might I add, and if some chaos occurs this weekend, could have been playing for a chance at a national title. Yet, he decided to pack his bags and head to a new frontier, only ever coaching in the Midwest beforehand. Adam Rittenberg of ESPN writes, Kelly's departure frees up yet another A-list job in a historic coaching carousel. Notre Dame hasn't won a national title since 1988, but many coaches still view it as one of the best jobs in the sport. The Fighting Irish recruit nationally, boast a national fan following, and play games around the country. Kelly undoubtedly leaves his successor a better program than he inherited from Charlie Weis. Notre Dame's athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, has been in place since 2008, and the university has made some important recent upgrades, including an indoor practice field just for football. Swarbrick will have no shortage of interested candidates, and I'd be a bit surprised if he goes beyond number 3 or 4 on his list. So where does the storied Notre Dame program go from here? Let's talk about that. The first name I want to bring up is Marcus Freeman, the current Notre Dame defensive coordinator. He has done wonders on the recruiting trail for Notre Dame this year and is being ranked as the 3rd best recruiter this cycle, behind Jamil Adey at Georgia and Charles Kelly at Alabama, while being ahead of Ohio State's Brian Hartline. Notre Dame currently has the 4th best recruiting class in 2022 and the 2nd best class in 2023, and a lot of that has to do with what Freeman has done on the trail. Earlier this summer, Kelly commented that he saw Freeman's potential as a future head coach. Freeman is only 35 years old, but would be able to surround himself with veteran coaches who have overseen the program before. With the early signing period quickly approaching, having Freeman take over to keep some structure during a crazy time period will be key so you don't see something like what happened at Oklahoma. Freeman grew up near Dayton, Ohio, and has spent his entire career in Ohio and Indiana. The concern about hiring Freeman? Well, he has never been a head coach before and has only been at Notre Dame for less than a year. Yet he has already made a strong impression in South Bend. Tom Van Haren from ESPN writes, he is a young coach who relates to the players and he has well-established relationships at the high school level in the Midwest. It would make for an easy adjustment, and given the pool of available coaches, I don't know who else would make a splash. Freeman hasn't been a head coach before, but he has a lot of what it takes to be a head coach, and I think he could build off of what the staff has done this season. While Adam Rittenberg writes, Freeman also would be a smart choice, despite his age and lack of head coaching experience. He will get a big-time job soon, so why not get ahead of the pack and hire him now? If Notre Dame decides to go in a different direction, then they should work their butts off to at least keep him on the staff. Especially if you plan on bringing in someone like Luke Fickell. This coaching carousel has been an insane one, and I feel like we are just getting started. How crazy would it be for Notre Dame to hire a head coach away from Cincinnati for back-to-back coaches? If this were to happen, you might have to start making jokes that Notre Dame is developing a coaching pipeline with the Bearcats. Marcus Freeman was Fickell's defensive coordinator last year, and if Freeman doesn't leave for another head coaching job, then you may have someone who can guide the program while Notre Dame waits on the Cincinnati coach. Fickell has only coached in the Midwest, and everyone said he probably wouldn't take any other job unless it was Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, or Penn State if they opened up. The issue with Fickell that I kind of hinted at before is the fact that if the Bearcats continue their historic run and make the playoffs, then you couldn't hire him until early January at the earliest. With the early signing period quickly approaching, that may not be something the Irish can do. But that is why I said you need to do everything you can to keep Freeman on the staff. Maybe it's one of the setups of, hey, what do we need to keep you here? And if Fickell doesn't come, you are our next head coach. Easier said than done, I know. Fickell has a 47-14 record at Cincinnati and a 43-6 record since 2018, and if the Irish can land him, they might not be looking for a new head coach for the next decade plus. Oh, Matt Campbell, I have talked about you so much this coaching carousel. There was a point where it looked like Campbell was going to be the next USC head coach, then they hired Lincoln Riley, and a rumored possibility of LSU hiring Campbell. The concern around Campbell throughout this whole process is the fact that he has not coached outside the Midwest and probably would not fit in schools like LSU, Florida, or USC. Now, one of, if not the biggest job in the Midwest just opened up, and Campbell may be the perfect choice. He led Iowa State to a 9-3 record, winning the Fiesta Bowl in the process and finishing as the 9th-ranked team in the nation last year. Yet the Cyclones failed to meet expectations this year, and Campbell is 42-33 at Iowa State, which is actually impressive based off of how the school has performed historically. Adam Rittenberg writes, Iowa State's Matt Campbell wants this job and would be a strong choice to replace Kelly. His mentality would connect well with Notre Dame's players, and he knows the area well after spending all of his pre-Iowa State career in the home state of Ohio. I don't know why, but I feel like if Matt Campbell were to get this job, it would feel like Notre Dame is settling. Maybe it's because deep down, I just really want to see him stay at Iowa State. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Who do you think will be Notre Dame's next head coach? Let me know in the comment section below. If you are enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the video do better in the algorithm. There is one thing I have learned about college football this year. It is to expect the unexpected. So this next name may seem a little wild, but I feel like it needs to be mentioned, and that is Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, who is 46 years old, grew up in the Chicago suburbs and has recruited the Midwest most of his career. He is the winningest head coach in school history at Northwestern and has guided the Wildcats to 2 division titles, 5 AP Top 25 finishes, and 10 bowl games. Adam Rittenberg writes, Fitzgerald has turned down overtures from Michigan and the NFL as well as other notable jobs, and he agreed to a new 10-year contract earlier this year. Yet, is he possibly thinking about needing new scenery after a 3-9 record this year? Alex Scarborough writes, it's a 2-hour drive from South Bend, Indiana to Evanston, Illinois. If it's me, I'm getting in the car, knocking on Pat Fitzgerald's door, and making him tell me no. I get it that he went to Northwestern and loves Northwestern because why else would he still be there? But he has done his time, and he knows there's a limit of what he can accomplish at his alma mater. At Notre Dame, the sky's the limit, and unlike most head coaching opportunities, he wouldn't be taking over a program that has fallen on hard times. He could walk right in, he doesn't even need to get on a plane, and make a run at the playoffs. Pat Narduzzi has recruited some of the same players as Notre Dame throughout his career, whether that be at Pittsburgh, Michigan State, or Cincinnati. He's a veteran coach who knows the Big Ten, ACC, and the rest of the Midwest really well. He is 55 and led the Panthers to a 10-2 record this year and a division title. He's a defensive guy, but has produced some strong offenses in the past. With the Carolina Panthers struggling, Matt Rhule has been brought up for a handful of college jobs. He has strong ties to the Northeast as a New York native and played at Penn State. His personality would fit Notre Dame well, and he is known for building programs, although the Irish are title contenders day one with their roster for 2022. It's probably unlikely, but it's a call Swarbrick needs to make. Some honorable mentions for this job are Mark Stoops, Clark Lea, and Bill O'Brien. Stoops grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and grew up knowing all about the Irish program. He is someone who knows how to develop players and knows how to recruit. I just see him more at Oklahoma right now. Clark Lea would have been a top candidate a year ago as Notre Dame's defensive coordinator, but is now coaching at his alma mater and living in his hometown, and I don't see him leaving. Bill O'Brien was successful at Penn State recruiting the same areas as Notre Dame and knows the ACC well. I just don't view him as a top-tier choice for the job with who is still available. But he would be very successful at Notre Dame if they were to go with him. But who do you think will be Notre Dame's next head coach? Let me know in the comment section below. Personally, I hope it is Marcus Freeman or Luke Fickell. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.